before to get one.
German bureaucracy is just horrible.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3, Polizei.
Yeah. Entschuldigung.
Person fucking hates me.
Oh my god, like, so few, what does it sound so bad?
Guys, welcome back to our channel. Today we prepared something special for you. We're not just gonna show you amazing places around Berlin, we're actually gonna give you a real opinion about this place. And how we're gonna do it? We're gonna take an interview from our guest today, Johnny. Hello, Johnny.
Hello.
So, let's start. Tell about yourself. Where are you from?
Yeah, so as you said, my name's Johnny. I'm 24 and I come from Scotland, a little city in the northeast called Aberdeen, which probably most of you have never heard of. And yeah, so I recently finished my university studies last year, and then I've since a few months ago now moved to Berlin, and well, now I'm here. So.
Okay. Is Aberdeen like a small city? How small is it? I mean, is it like a village? Is there horses going on?
Okay, yeah, well, I mean, funny you should say that, because whilst I say that I'm from Aberdeen, I'm actually come from outside of Aberdeen, where I basically do live where all the horses are. But Aberdeen itself is, it's a small city, it's about 200,000 people, so, you know, it's more like a really big town, more than anything. Okay. But it's quite interesting, because you've got all the oil there, so it's a very, I don't know, there's interesting dynamic.
So how long are you actually in Berlin right now? Like now?
So I arrived in May, so it's been almost exactly 7 months now.
Okay.
So it's, yeah.
7 months, so even more than half a year. So you can really tell right now as your real opinion, like how you feel.
Big cities never really appealed to me that much. Like it didn't really interest me. Like I really like. I'm really kind of a small town, you know, easily get to the countryside, like kind of, I love, you know, small, I don't like, big cities are really kind of strange to me, but
so Cuba doesn't sound so bad.
So Cuba doesn't sound so bad, mostly they have nice weather, so I mean, that's another advantage. But then, like, and it wasn't until I met my partner who's from here, and then there became this real, like, maybe we should move to Berlin, and like, since doing so, I mean, Berlin itself, I think, I don't think there would be another city of this size that I would move to, because I think there's a lot of other big cities which are just, you know, something like, if you picture like New York or London or something where it's just buildings on buildings on buildings and skyscrapers and everything. Berlin I really like because...
Clear space. A
lot of space. There's so many parks and so much green space, and you really feel like though, like you can go into one neighborhood and you've come from somewhere where there's loads of big buildings, and all of a sudden there's somewhere where there's trees everywhere and there's parks, and you feel kind of like you can kind of escape from the city a little bit. Whereas, like a lot of other bigger cities I've been to, it's just city.
London is crazy. London, I mean. God, I don't know how I survived that 3 years. So, is it difficult for you to be in such like place that bigger than you used to be?
When I first moved, I was very much kind of lost, and that was, but I was kind of lost in life in general. So I was feeling lost at home. I was feeling lost wherever I go. So I kind of we just kind of decided I would just try to move to Berlin and try and make something happen, and
just jump to
exactly. And so I would say honestly, the first few months were quite hard, quite difficult, because you're missing your family. You don't have all your friendships and all these kind of things. But then now that I've been here,
zone, you're out of your
exactly.
Zone,
you don't know. It's little things. It's like you don't have your favorite bar to go to. You don't have your whatever. But now I've been here about 7 months. I'm starting. You know, I've established more of a life here. It feels definitely feeling a lot more homely. Like I think the biggest thing that you don't appreciate when you move to an entirely new place is like how easy it was to make friends at home, and especially you come through, like as I said, just come out of university recently. Like it's so easy to make friends because everyone's doing the same thing. Everyone's just whatever, and then all of a sudden you're just in a new place and you don't have...
And it's a huge place compared
exactly.
to
It's a huge place, and how do I know there's people here who really like me, but how do I find them? Because there's millions of people here, and it's Yeah, but I feel like now I'm finally like actually kind of getting my kind of finally getting settled, and I do feel like it's becoming a little bit more like home now, which is
That's
yeah.
great. That's great.
Yeah.
I felt the same. When I came to Berlin, I was lost. I was just, oh my god, all my friends, like all my like schoolmates, like my hobbies, you know, like dancing classes, all of this, they're just they were back to my country, you know, they're gone, and you're just sitting there like, okay, cool. I speak English. I'm in German country. Everything what I know in German is Hallo, which is actually more international word. Yeah, that you maybe know for some games or whatever. Heard, you know, 1, 2, 3 Polizei.
Yeah.
It was like this, you know, typical stuff, and that's it. Yeah, I mean, of course for me it's easier to say I'm here more than 10 years, and like I don't even know how to say that Berlin is not my home anymore, because it is. It is my home. I feel here more than home even before. All my friends and family, you know, everyone is here, so it's a great place actually to be here with a family also, and let's say raise a family here. So yeah, it's a great start. That just in like what 7 months you feel like at home, but they're starting, and it's great. So right now, are you currently working here, studying? Like what are you doing here?
Yeah, so I've been, for the past few months, I've been working as a project manager for a company that does translation and localization for computer games.
Wow.
And actually, just today, I found out that I was originally doing an internship, but they've just told me today that they plan on, after the end of the internship, offering me a full-time position.
Wow, no, cheers,
so,
congrats.
Yeah, I know, so that's...
It's an amazing day, congrats.
Right?
Was it difficult to find a job here in Berlin?
So, I mean, yes and no. I mean, like, because it's difficult to find a job anywhere, especially as a graduate, and especially with my kind of area. Like, it wasn't exactly, as I said, a science or engineering or something like this, so it was never going to be easy for me to find a job. But I spent about 9 months or something at home in Scotland applying for all these different jobs with big companies and all these other things in the UK, and just nothing was happening. But I come to Berlin, and because they really have the strong startup culture, and there's a lot of new companies and that kind of thing, and I felt like that specifically was really helpful as a graduate, in that like they gave me the opportunity to just do the internship, and it was actually easier to get something here, it felt like, than it was to get something at home.
Really?
I mean, I don't know if that would be the case for everyone, but at least for me, that was the case.
So, do you know German? Speak German.
So, I have been attending German lessons for a while, but I have to say, since I've really been getting into my job, my German lessons have slipped a little bit, but I'll say that's because we work, as I said, we work in English, and specifically my role, I don't really deal much with, I don't deal with
really
German
like on the daily basis.
Exactly. But
do you know basics, like where to go, my name is Johnny, I need help,
absolutely.
I don't know.
So that was the one thing that when I first came, that I decided, like, I would never move to the country and just be one of those people who just turns up and is like, oh, everyone in Berlin speaks English.
It's fine. Yeah.
It's fine. I knew I would feel there's just something inside me that feel really guilty or feel bad about it, that like I knew from the get-go. So I actually first moved here when I didn't have a job or anything, and I did intensive German lessons because I wanted to get to a stage that I can at least go to a shop, go to a bar, go to wherever, go ask for directions, as you said, introduce myself, this kind of stuff. If I couldn't do that in German, I also wouldn't feel it necessarily at home, like, because I feel like I'm an outsider, I'm having to speak in English, this isn't this person's language, and I have to say it's really satisfying when you get to the point where where there'll be some German tourist from Köln or Stuttgart or somewhere who'll come up to you in an S-Bahn station and speak all in German and ask you for directions. You're like, yeah, kein Problem. Geradeaus, S-Bahn 7 or etwas. It's there's something really satisfying about that. So whilst I really want to improve my German, it's kind of slipped in the past little while, but I'm happy that I've got to a stage where I can have basic conversations, I can do directions, all this kind of stuff.
interesting question for you. Okay, so let's start with the small steps. How do you feel using euros instead of pounds?
It's weird.
I mean, it's weird. I mean, I've been also in the country where...
So, the banknotes look like Monopoly money.
Sorry.
It doesn't look real. It's so bright and colourful.
Seriously, but pound is that big. Like I had it all in the bag where I could put it properly, you know?
Yeah. But
they're huge.
But it feels weird. Like,
now, interesting question for you. What are you thinking about Brexit? Huh?
Good question.
Are you ready for this?
Are
you on? Are you off?
No. I have a lot of mixed feelings about it. So there's a few different kind of levels to it. Like, in general, I'm against it. As a Scottish person, in general, our whole country, almost 60-something% voted against it, whereas the rest of the UK voted for it. But it's because in general, so if I look at it from a Scottish perspective, we've always very much felt very close to. In Scotland, we feel like we're European citizens.
Yeah.
I mean,
England, you even tried to get separated from
exactly. And one of the main things was this same kind of idea. We feel much more of a European identity more than a British identity. Yeah. So a lot of English people, and I'm not trying to generalize or anything, but like it tends to be a lot of British people or English people have a lot more. They're more proud towards Britain and things like this, and it's not really for us. Like they're proud and they're British and they're English and they're we have a proud history and all these kind of things. Whereas in Scotland we're like we feel very socialist in terms of our political voting, and we tend to really like the EU and Europe in general. We feel really like we're all European citizens. Whereas in England they often don't feel like they're part of Europe. We feel like we're this island that's separate, whereas Scotland, the same as Ireland does, we feel like we're very close to Europe. So there's that level to it. But then in the past 7 months, there's been this additional level to it, which has been it's kind of also one of the reasons why I felt I needed to kind of accept it and just force myself and move when I wanted to move, was that I don't know when I would get this kind of opportunity again. And so I was like, right, I'll go to Europe. I can move. Literally, I can get on a flight and I can live there for 12 months and no one will even care. No one will.
Like you have more freedom, yes, I agree. Yeah. For me, like I was shocked, I think, when the whole this started, I don't really remember, but oh no, right, I was still in London.
Yeah.
What was shocking for me that like some people didn't even know what Brexit is, but they were saying, yes, we need it. There's like all these popular YouTube videos where they're like, yeah, why are you against the Brexit? Why are you on Brexit? All this, and they're like, yeah, well, people say yes, that's why I also say yes.
Yeah.
And you're just like, seriously, there should be more information. Like, I mean, not even just information, but more like explaining what consequences it could be.
And that's the problem. Still to this day, now we are, in theory, if Brexit happens as Brexit is supposed to happen, in March 2019 we are meant to leave the EU. We still have just as little information as we did when we started the vote. And that is madness. And particularly now, as a UK citizen living abroad, it has now become really, really clear, like the government, whatever they're trying to negotiate in the UK, they don't care about people who live abroad, like in Europe. Like, so we are just thrown to the side. Like they don't care about our rights. Like
I think that's why exactly just before Brexit already happened, that was exactly why just nearly after, I think it was less than half a year, Scotland exactly decided to try at least to become separate from UK, right? It was just after Brexit.
It was actually just It was just before Brexit.
Just before, right?
It was just before Brexit. So, because Brexit happened in 2015, Scottish independence happened in 2014, like right at the end of September, and then Brexit happened in 2015, and it's
I mean,
tough.
it's understandable why. It's really understandable
Well,
why. But
yeah, it's understandable why, but it's become a difficult thing. There's a lot of different levels to it, and it's become an old person and a young person thing. Because in the UK, almost everyone of my age group, we view ourselves as European citizens, and we love the benefits that the EU brings. We can move, we can live in any one of 28 countries for free. I could have come to Germany and lived here for months without anybody even saying anything. Yes, so technically the Bürgeramt wants me to come and say that I'm registered here, but I could, in theory, I can get on a plane and no one will ever know I'm here for years. Whereas all of a sudden, overnight...
So of course, I mean, the Brexit is like a negative situation, I get it. But, I mean, let's come back, let's say, to the Germany. I mean, in my experience, in Germany, there is also some negativity. For example, for me, the craziest thing, it's still happening. It's still like just, I don't know, it makes me crazy, seriously. When I need to get a paper, I don't know, a paper that I'm living in this flat.
Yeah.
God, I need to have 10 before to get one.
That's a problem specifically for Germany.
It's
like
such a
German bureaucracy
Oh.
is just horrible. It's like you try to apply to the Bürgeramt to say, I live here now, and you need 10 forms to go to 10 different departments to tell you that yes, this person lives here.
You know what the funny thing is? I actually was obviously preparing for this interview, and I realized a really interesting thing. So just imagine you're coming to Berlin, like UK. So you were lucky because you actually came to you had a place where to stay. Of course, let's say a person can stay in a hotel, just for example. Then he decided, okay, I love this country, I love Berlin, I actually have an idea and I can have this work because they're taking me, because I'm awesome, we met on the streets, I have no idea, but he has a work, just for example. And then he thinks, what to do next? I need a rent a place, I need a bank account, and what else? I need to just, in general, a flat. Or I said a flat already, doesn't really matter. Anyway, so, if you want to have a bank and you want to have a flat, you need to have like a paper that you're living somewhere.
Yeah.
But how you can say that you're living somewhere if let's say you live in a hotel? So the whole this circle is just crazy, and you cannot open a bank account because you need to be also like this paper that you live somewhere. You cannot have a work because you need to have a bank. But you cannot.
That's something I even found for myself. Like something that amazed me was when so I tried to just have a phone SIM card, just nothing card. I have no money on, no nothing. Right? I tried to I just bought this SIM card.
You need the paper.
Whatever. You need to prove yourself. Who are you? You need identification. You need this, that. No. Whereas in the UK. For what we got is a prepaid SIM card. You can buy 10 of them at the same shop at the same time and not have to do anything. Whereas in Germany, you need identification, you need this, you need this. And it's the same if you get on a train in Germany, you need to have your Ausweis. You need to have your identification on you. And I'm just like, oh, like if I have the ticket, I have the ticket. If I have the SIM card, I have the SIM card. But it's not enough in Germany. It's
crazy. This bureaucracy is just killing me, and it's even also about like appointments. It's just you cannot come, let's say, to any council, wherever, any place without an appointment. Like if you're gonna come without an appointment, I think only appropriate place to be in appointment is just in front of the hospital.
Yeah.
And maybe still there you can ask to have an appointment.
Yeah, unless it's very bad.
You're just like, I need help. You have an appointment. Wait, you don't have an appointment.
Yeah, exactly.
Are you planning to rent a place here soon?
Absolutely. Like,
have you searched already? Because I mean, let's jump to the topic, okay? I've been all over. Obviously, I told you before. I was in London for 3 years, and I mean, the real estate there is just like, I
It's
don't know,
crazy.
it's crazy. Yes, I don't know, like you probably for this money you can buy a penthouse here. However, now is something crazy obviously happening as well here in Berlin.
Mhm.
The prices are not just growing, they're just like jumping over, not like, you know, if we're gonna say, for example, price per quadrat meter, it's not like they're growing in 100, no, thousands, you know,
Yeah.
half a year, 1,000 more, instead of 2,000 per quadrat meter, I don't know. You can, it's great if you can find for 3,000, and it's not like a new built house.
Mhm.
No, it's like from 60s, 70s. It's like the prices are getting, you know, crazier.
Yeah.
And it's just like, do you think it's really far away right now from UK
I mean, what I see is that I see Berlin is, as you said, I think Berlin's on the same trajectory that London has been on for a long time. Obviously, it's at least 20, 30 years behind. I can't say for exact. But it's the same trajectory in that, like, so whilst even 5, 6 years ago in Berlin, you could get the nicest flat for nothing, like pennies comparatively. But now the problem is it's become such a place that everybody wants to come. It's, unfortunately, I'm the exact same. I am this person, but it's like the international people. They all want to come to Berlin because it's cool. So there's still that kind of aspect where there's some areas that are cheaper, and there's some areas which are just getting more and more expensive. You know, places like Friedrichshain and Prenzlauer Berg, which have gone really gentrified. Exactly, those places. But if you consider how much a flat there is now, it's almost becoming almost to the level of London, which is notoriously like one of the most expensive places in the entire EU, and like it's crazy. Like it's very competitive here, and it's almost there's also like another level in that like a lot of the people who are coming here, they're coming here as international people, and like people will just straight away, like if you're coming to a flat viewing just to rent something, like if you don't speak German, they'll just say no.
You
Like,
always need to come with the papers again.
exactly.
Like I think the rule is minimum 3 salaries, like page salaries. Your Schufa is like your credit history. Your also what is interesting, not just now your salary or your bank account, but you also need to have your working contract. Like how long can you work, till what time you work. Is it like I don't know, from day to day, or is it like continuously? You have your stuff. It's crazy which information they're searching for. So is it, let's say, a person who just started to work and you have your own money?
It feels really bad as that person.
It's still difficult to find a flat, even if you have money.
Yeah, I think you either kind of need to have like loads of money to just be able to straight away be like, I can pay 6 months of rent right now, no problem. Or like, but if you consider like, especially for Berlin, the kind of people that come to Berlin. They're people like me. They come just out of university, or they've just finished a job and they just want something different, and they come for a new experience. And I was like they really, these people, like, you can't really afford to actually live here, like because well, maybe they can afford to, but there's so many steps you have to go through, like the Schufa and everything, and it's.
It's taking ages until you actually can have a rent proper flat.
And I think that's a real problem in Berlin, I think, right now, from what I've learned from the friends that I've made, particularly the international people. Like, there's a real housing problem in Berlin at the moment, because the problem is like the city is growing really crazy rapidly in popularity, and also in that same style, like the prices have risen, and so it's meant that because there's more competition, and then
what about social life? Clubbing, parties, cafes.
I think
you love it?
It's probably the best city in Europe for that kind of stuff. Like, even though I have to say, admittedly, like I've not really like gone down the whole partying, clubbing scene as much as a lot of people that I know that have come to Berlin, who seemingly they come to Berlin and 7 days a week they're in Berghain. And you know, whatever, going to crazy clubs and parties and all these other things, like, but I really do love like the kind of vibe, not a better word, just of everything that's here. It's like it's different. Like coming from the UK, where everything is so very strictly organized, and for example, the biggest example is things like bars and clubs and things. So like in the UK, like, or at least in Scotland, I don't know if it's the same in England, but like if you have a place that serves alcohol, you have to close at a certain time.
Yeah.
And every hour you open past that, you have to pay an additional fee.
Mm.
Whereas you'll come to a bar in Berlin and you'll go to this bar and that bar will close when you leave.
Yeah.
Like if you don't leave, then that bar won't close. And
It's
like,
more freedom here, yeah.
and it's nice. So even though I don't necessarily like what a lot of people come to Berlin for is like the hard clubs and all these kind of like, you know, the really party scene, like I don't really kind of engage in that so much. But even just normal bars in Berlin, a normal bar in Berlin, it will stay open until 6 in the morning. Like if you stay and drink beers there, like it can be anywhere in the west, in the east, wherever. Like and I kind of love that. There's a level of like freedom that like anyone can kind of do whatever you want. Like whilst there are parts of Berlin which are quite German and quite restricted, but there's a lot of things about it that are just so free, which in general Germany doesn't have, and I think Europe in general, well at least Western Europe, doesn't necessarily have. And so there's something really nice about it, and really like freeing is the only thing I can say.
So are German then friendly? Because I realize you like bars, it's fine. But do you think German are friendly? Are they helpful? Bruce, I see your face, Tell the truth.
So, whilst some of the Germans I've come to know very well, I love very much, and I think the kind of Germans that I've become close with, I think there are certain types of Germans that are absolutely the most loving and the most kind, and their hearts are so open. But I will have to say, after having lived in some places which are perhaps more of the residential and more restricted areas of Berlin, where there's a lot more of the German types, so you'll meet the kind of the old Germans who've been here for 70 years and all these other things. Like, I personally don't think Germans are very friendly, and they're not very open. They can be very harsh and provocative, and you can I think particularly with Berliner Germans as well, there's another level on top of that where like you'll speak to someone on the street and they will sound so, this is maybe just because I'm a British person, but you come from it and they sound so rude and so blunt and so dismissive, and you think, oh, that person fucking hates me. And you're like, I spoke to them for 2 seconds, like, I was just asking where the shop is, but they already hate me. But like there's something about Berliners specifically, and there's something about Germans as well. They're very, I don't know. It's just something. I don't think they're the friendliest of people.
What I really don't like about German people is just no matter what, even if you've done something not on purpose, I don't know, something falls down. You went, like in Berlin, in the whole Germany, there's like a special lines for the bicycles.
Yeah.
And so you just forgot, you're in my mind, you're walking, and you just randomly walk in this bicycle line, like not on purpose.
Yeah.
And they're like, cling, cling,
Yeah.
out of the way, you don't see the line, blah, blah, blah. And you're just like,
Yeah.
I haven't done it on purpose. I wasn't going like towards you. I just absolutely went here because I was in my mind, and you feel so sorry, and you're like, I'm sorry, but like, why you are sorry? You haven't done it on purpose. Nothing crazy happened, but she or he is so angry, and she, like, beep, 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 go away. Oh.
And I think the biggest thing for me is when you're on the S-Bahn, so the metro line, and you're kind of sitting there, and maybe so they have these little, like, they have the heaters on your left, because of those 4 seating things, where you're sitting there with 2 seats facing across you. You put your foot up just on this little thing over here, and then there will always be a German lady who comes in, Entschuldigung, you should take your foot off of that. That's okay. This is public transport. We should all respect this. And you're kind of like, oh my God, like, I'm not making it dirty. I'm not changing anything. But you have to. There's something about Germans that they very much like everything to be like within the box. It's in order. Everything has got a place, and it's difficult coming like in the UK we have our own problems with that kind of thing, but like not the
Not
same
that hard.
as like because you come to Germany and like even in Berlin where like the reputation is we break the rules, we don't care, anything goes, whatever, but you'll still sit there and there'll be a red man on the traffic lights and you won't move. You'll sit there for 30 seconds with not a single car has come past and you'll sit there and you'll wait. Whereas in the UK, as soon as there's like a red man, if there's no car, you've gone. You're all the way across the road. But like you come to Germany and you sit there and you wait and everyone's wasted 2 minutes of their lives just to sit and do nothing. And you're like, but there's no cars. Like I saw there was no cars for 200 meters either way. And you're like,
Yeah, you can change it.
yeah.
I think the best part about Berlin actually is that you not just like it or not, you fall in love.
Yeah, that's the thing.
There is a click in one day.
That's the thing. I think you either love Berlin or you don't.
Yeah. So yeah, conclusion, or you love it or not, right?
I
I would say like that, because
I do,
I don't know, with London for example, I like it, but I don't like it at the same time, and it's straight away because there's that and that and that and that. And with Berlin, is that one day you can say I love it, the second day I hate it, but no matter what, you're still in love. So, the last question for today, I think is the funniest.
Okay.
Maybe you can address one of your ideas to this question. So the question is, if Angela Merkel would stay in front of you in a bakery buying a coffee, and you understand that you have actually an opportunity to ask something, and she was really opening and calm, and like you understand that she will talk to you, what will you ask her?
That's a difficult question. That sounds simple, but that's very difficult.
Don't tell me, can you pass me a sugar or something like that?
That'll probably be realistically what I would ask. To be honest, like, because I'm also kind of the kind of person that I'm really interested in politics and that kind of stuff, that to be honest, the only thing that I could think of to ask her is I would ask her, and she would hate it, she would say, bog off, I'm trying to just drink a coffee, like, because if she's in a bakery, she's just drinking a coffee or whatever, she wants to be left alone. But I would be the person, it would have to be something about Brexit. It would be, what is your opinion on Brexit? How can you save my country and my life? It would be something like that. Like, I'd be begging to her a little bit, like, please save us, like, so I mean, it's, yeah.
And they're like, oh boy.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, it's really cool actually. I mean, yeah. So, I really enjoyed this interview, seriously.
Yeah,
it's
been great to be here.
So we are really happy that you came to us today and you're a guest, and thank you very much again.
No.
So, guys, I hope you enjoyed it. I think we should make it like at least a few more times, because it was really interesting to hear the whole opinion from the person who really moved to Berlin, not just like random people from the street, of course, or wherever, but the person who has experience. So, yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please write in the comments down below, do you like it or not, this format in general of the video, and see you soon in the next one. Bye!
Bye, guys.